first thing that we're going to put in there is the large cloche, and in here all I've done is I've altered a large bird nest, and I've got some ferns, some moss and some spring blossom, and I've just wrapped some LED lights around it, and it's got 2 little robins in there, so that will go on the top shelf, and those lights are on timer so they will come on when they need to. And then I've got some, so these are, this is a book series, I just can't think of the manufacturers. The Earth, Its Wonders and Its Secrets, and it's a Reader's Digest set, and I like the green spine, so we're going to put 3 of those in to act as a riser. Then on top of that we're going to have the bunny, which is from Asda's. Now this is in a haul video that I've recorded. I'm not too sure when this is going out, so you may have already seen it or you might not have seen it yet, because I do a lot of videos in advance, so sometimes I show things and then realise that you haven't seen them yet. But he's one of 3, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, which is this one, and Speak No Evil, and they're from Asda. I've done a shop with me from Asda's, I'll link that video, so I pops that now. So I'm going to pop him on top of the books. And then I found, this is a new item, and then I found this old galvanised lantern, and it's got a glass sleeve, and I found this on eBay from a store on eBay, really cheap. I think it was only like £4. So it's galvanised, and then it's got a LED timer candle in it, so that'll go on the top as well. This second shelf here, I am going to have this wheelbarrow, and these wheelbarrows were purchased a couple of years ago from B&M, and it's the Le Jardin range. Now they do a lot of this kind of range, this Le Jardin range in the spring and summer. I didn't see a lot of it when I went down to B&M recently. I found a few things online which I purchased to go in the kitchen and the hallway, which I'm hoping you'll see at some point soon. So they may well get things I'll show you later in the B&M, but I can't guarantee it. So this is a cream one, and it's distressed and aged, so that will go in the cabinet here. And then next to it I am going to put my cream LED on timer squirrel, and I use this in the autumn as well, so it's nice to be able to use these items for more than just one season. So I'm going to pop him in there. And then just to bring a bit of colour, I'm going to pop in one of these faux ferns, just to pop in a bit of colour, because otherwise it's too bland. And I've got some faux carrots. Bear with me 1 second, crafters. And I know squirrels don't tend to eat carrots, but this is for spring. So I'm going to put some of these raffia wrapped carrots, which I found on sale in TK Maxx, and there's a haul video coming out, or is out. Again, I'm not sure when these videos are going to come out, so just going to pop those in there as well. And then on the bottom shelf here I have this collection of wooden items. Now ironically these all belong to my father. It's a wooden chess set, it's a game box with cards in, it's his cards and what are they called, Mum? Dominoes. And there's discs in there as well, isn't there? Sorry, my mum's behind the camera, crafters. And then he has this container here which he holds, because my father smokes a pipe, so this holds his tobacco, but he doesn't use it. So it's a nice collection of wooden pieces. So that will go on the bottom shelf. And then next to that, I am going to use these LED light up mercury glass pine cones, and these were bought from QVC a couple of Christmases ago, and I use them all year round. They don't get put away because I don't think they scream necessarily Christmas. So I put the larger one on in the back, and then I've laid the smaller one down, and then I've got some of this cherry blossom. I've just cut the stem off, and just to give that some interest, what's this piece? I've got 2 pieces that I've manipulated. Yeah, that was that piece. Just to give it some interest and to, make it slightly more springy. And that's that side. So that's that side of the cabinet done. Now we'll slide the doors open and we'll work on this side. Now as you can see, there are three shelves, No glass shelves in this particular cabinet. And I've now got to remember what I had in these on these units. I can't remember. On the top shelf, I have this birch log which has been sliced, and I got this on eBay a couple of years ago. You can get them on eBay, but they're really expensive, and they're really expensive in craft stores as well. So if you do have maybe a park that's local to you, I know some park cut their trees down and they give these away, or they sell them very, very cheaply. Or maybe try a local garden centre, but they're just so expensive online, and because they're so heavy, they're expensive to ship. So I wouldn't recommend that. Then I have this large wax LED candle, so that's going on there as well. The top here actually is just quite simple. Then I have this owl, so I'm going to pop him on there, and then we're going to pop in some more of the faux spring blossom, again just to bring a bit of colour and springness on that. So that is it from the top shelf, so really simple. The second shelf here is a bit more involved. I have these wooden cockerels and hen. I've got these from eBay. Actually got it came in a pack. It was what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find all the stores that I got these from on eBay, because these weren't from individual sellers, they were from stores based on eBay. And I got the cockerel and 2 hens. I think it's for about £12, and they're all nicely done. They've all got felt on the bottom and they're aged. But this particular one here I altered slightly. I added some mirrored cardstock, put it through my crimpler, distressed the edges and made it look like galvanised. Well, I think it looks like galvanised, and then I just went over the top to give it a bit of age. I don't know how well that shows up on camera because I can't see the back of my camera. So we'll have that. We'll have these two here. Like I say, this cabinet is going to pretty much stay like this now all year long. I'll just add a few of the seasonal elements. I'm not doing a lot of the nautical theme now, because nautical and farm doesn't necessarily go together, so I'm kind of getting rid of the nautical theme and just having that in my bathroom and downstairs toilet. So we've got those two, and then I've got these 2 lanterns and another faux LED candle. There's a trick there, crafters. It was too small, so I put loads of sellotape around it to make it fit. So if I can get it back in there now, yep, so that goes in there. And we have this one here, and this one I just spray painted in the silver because it was more of a brown colour. And then we have the broken, if you remember from a haul video from Poundland, I was spray painting them, I just knocked it and it broke off the base. I'll link that video, so it pops that now. But this is too nice to throw away, so I just place that on the bottom, just there like that, and that's that sorted. Now it comes to this bottom space here. I have this white tray which I got from Poundland actually last Mother's Day, not the Mother's Day just gone, the Mother's Day before, and they were selling these for £1, and I thought it was an absolute bargain. So I'm going to put that up the back there. And then I've got this cow picture from eBay, and this isn't from a store, this is from an individual selling some goods they no longer wanted. So that will go in the tray in the back area. And then I have this grouping of vases, and I've had these vases a long time. I think these are from Habitat. No, they're from Homebase. But I've had these. How long do you think I've had these, Mum? It's got to be about 10 years, hasn't it? Yeah. So I've had these about 10 years, and I'm going to put these in a grouping. I have the blue, the grey, white, and then this one isn't part of the set, but it really works well with this set, and it's a very similar colour to the larger one. So that will go there. And then I will add some more fern. And I'm sure there was something on that table with that, but obviously not. Maybe that was it. So I'm just going to pause the camera here now, crafters, and I'm going to tilt it up so we can work on the top. Okay, crafters, now we're going to work on the top here. We have this lantern that stays up all year round. It actually has a very large flickering timer LED candle, but I need to change the batteries. They died about 6 months ago. I haven't replaced them. So up here, again, going to be very simple. I'm going to put these 2 cockerels up here. Now these are another eBay purchase, but these are from a store that sells on eBay. Now on the tag it says Green Gem Gardens, and it's these are actually cockerel garden decorations. So I'm not sure if the store was called Garden Gem or Green Gem, but I will link the store to this. What I'm going to do actually, because there's going to be too many links, I will create a blog post. So if you go over to createathomewithg.com, which is my store and my blog, there will be a blog post, and I will link. What I'll do is I'll try and take some photos. How do I want this? So what I'll do, sorry crafters, what I'll do is I'll create a blog, and I will link as many links as I can for some of the items that I've spoken about in the video. And then on top of this cabinet here, I'm going to have this basket. Now I know this basket is from Habitat. It was a basket that is a set of 3. I have one with a purple band, a smaller one, and then a bigger one with an orange band, and I used the orange one in autumn last year. In there, I was going through my scarves, and I was going to throw this scarf away, but I thought it worked really well with the kind of farmhouse decor. So I'm going to have the scarf inside the basket, so it kind of billows over. So it's like that, and then in that basket, I'm going to have my birch logs. Now these were actually made by myself. They are made from tube covering. I'll insert a photo here. And these are available from Poundland, and there will be a tutorial coming up on my sister channel, Created Home with Elf Creations, where I use cardboard tubes, but I use the same technique to cover these foam tubes as I did the cardboard tube. So I'm going to pop those in here. In fact, what I'm going to do, crafters, is take this down, and it's too high up, and I'm going to work on it on my dining table. Did one fall out? Yes, one did fall out. And then we have some more fake ferns and a bunch of the faux white tulips. So I'm going to put those in. So it looks like that. Whoops. And that's that. And then the last thing that I'm going to put on the front of this cabinet is the vintage rustic distress wooden carrot banner that I made. I posted on Instagram about these. Sometimes I post on Instagram, so you won't see, the only place you'll see it will be Instagram. I don't necessarily post everything on both Facebook and Instagram. So I've got some 3M clear hooks that stay up all year, because I use them for Christmas, for my garland and so forth. And then I'm going to, I've got one in the centre, just to make that level. And that, crafters, is my display cabinet, or hutch, depending on where you're from, ready for spring. Now it will stay like this right up until May. I've got these copper and galvanised steel charger plates. I'm going to put one of those up there. And then I have this large cloche. Now this cloche is actually from a Christmas decoration. It has a Christmas scene in it, and it has a stand, but I keep it out all year, and I have it on this breadboard, this chopping board. And I brought some red velvet pumpkins this year, because obviously the theme for my autumn decor this year is predominantly reds, so apples, poppies, that type of thing. So that's going to go up there as well. Then we are going to have a rose gold copper printed rosemary frame in the top there, and we are going to have my concrete apple I'm going to just put that on a little glass candlestick just to raise it up slightly, and my glass pear. I mean, not my glass, my ceramic concrete pear. And then we'll just put in a touch of foliage just to bring the autumnal leaves. So that's that shelf done. The next shelf we are going to have this lantern that I bought in Pound World when it was on sale. Very country, very farmhouse. And then I brought this faux succulent, which the colours are very autumnal. So we're going to put that there. And then on this side we're going to have our lovely squirrel. I'm just going to raise him on a piece of wood, a wood slice. And we are going to have some faux red poppies just popping out from behind him. And obviously these are all wired, so I can manipulate them so they face the direction I want them to go in. We're going to use one of the little faux birch risers that I made. I'll link that video so it pops out now, with these lovely little birds. Now these birds have got a lovely little sparkle on them, and they're on different things. This one's on a pine cone, that one's on a conker or horse chestnut, and then I have a third one which I will show you later. And then we are simply going to put in another faux velvet pumpkin. Just put that on the side there, and some more red leaf foliage. Okay, and then we come to the bottom. Now, those of you who watched my spring one remember the collection of boxes or wooden pieces from my father. So that stays at the bottom, so that's going to go back in. And then I have these mercury glass pine cones, which I got from QVC a number of years ago. So they're going to go in there as well. I lay one down on the side. We are going to have some foliage sticking up and about it, and I think I'm going to put in some faux, what do you call those now, poppies. And then I've got this little bird nest. I'm going to put that just on the side there. So that side is now done. Let's move the glass doors over. And let's concentrate on the top here. Now on the top I have another slice of the birch tree, another one of those lanterns, that will go there, and then next to that I have two wooden silhouettes of a rooster and of a chicken, so we're going to have that there and there. And we are also going to place some leaf foliage and some eggs. These are just some faux eggs that I have for decorative purposes. The next shelf we go down to, we will have another one of the galvanized chargers on the right hand side this time. We have two books. Now this is a Oscar Wilde and William Shakespeare books. We have the decorative kind of country farmhouse tassel, a red faux pumpkin, and then we have the two risers or candle holders, faux birch, which I've made in that video I linked earlier. We have another frame. This one's got lavender in it, so it keys back to this shelf here. We have a lovely little bird. These are a new line from Poundland, so I'm going to put that on there, I think. And then we have a candle, so I think I shall have Leave a bird there and have the candle just there. Leave those. You don't have to use them as risers, even though that's how they've been designed. Or for candles, you could just use them as to give them the presence of a tree stump. Right, and then it comes to the bottom here, and we have our brown LED lantern that goes there. We then have this tray, which I done in a video with another chicken silhouette with some shredded grass, a faux egg and some foliage. So that goes there. And then I'm going to put our little piggy, which I also done on video, which I will link in an iCard at the end. So I'm just going to go round now with my leftover leaves and foliage. And this little birdie, I think I might actually put him up there. So let's put a few leaves behind here. Just a few touches, just to bring the autumnal leaf colour elsewhere. And then I have a leaf garland, which I have got the 3M adhesive hooks up on in the corners of my unit. And I'm just going to pop that up there, like so. And there we have it. That is the glass display cabinet. I'll take the camera down. On my right hand side on my dining table, the first thing on this top shelf here, I'm going to be using my woodland angel, and I got this from eBay. This is a QVC item from Valerie Parhill, but I was lucky enough to find it on eBay and they did international shipping, so I got it at a really good price. Now I've got some snow on this shelf already. I probably will be adding some more, but you'll see that snow and things closer up. And then I've got all these reindeer, all these deer, all these stags, and they're all fawns, they're all babies, because obviously they have the little white dots on them. So I'm just going to nestle them in around our little woodland angel. Because one thing, I don't know if you noticed on the angel when I brought it to camera, she has some wildlife in the centre here. So she has a fox, she has a deer, she has an owl, and she's holding a rabbit. So I'm going to surround her with some wildlife. I've got these birds that I've used on many decorate with me's when I've done the glass cabinet, but they've got lovely little kind of gilded gold on them. So I'm going to put 3 of those in there. Well, I've only got 3, so obviously I'm putting all 3 in now, I should say. But one I'm going to raise up on this glass candle stand. So he's going to be at the back. Oops. I think this one's had a bit too much to drink. Get up there, thank you. And I'm just going to nestle these in. Yes, it's not to scale, but it's Christmas. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm just going to, I store my snow, and I reuse my snow year in, year out until it just gets, either really dirty or oops. And I've killed a deer. Oh dear. Let's put you back in there. And I keep it in these big bags, and I have a scoop in there as well, so it makes it easier for me to scoop out. Okay, so on the next shelf, I'm going to have like an Arctic theme. So in the dining room, my theme for this year is Arctic, and in my living room, the theme is woodland. So I'm going to mix up the themes in here, and I'm going to have these kind of frozen Arctic trees on this shelf, but then I have the woodland shelf above. And I have this new item for this year, and these are my penguins. It does play music, but you can't have it so it doesn't. So that's it lit up with the music. Or another setting, you can just have it lit up. And that's probably how I'll have it most of the time. So again, now I'm just going to fill in around the display with my faux snow. Now I get my faux snow from Poundland, because you get a decent sized bag and it's only £1. This shelf here I am leaving as is because it's my dad's collection, and because it's wood and rustic I think it goes pretty well on its own. And all I've done is I've added the light up pine cones that I got from QVC a number of years ago. So let's just get rid of the snow. So that's that side done. Now let's move over to here. Now on here I am going to have this Santa at the doorstep, and this is a new purchase for this year from B&M, and I think it was about £10. So I'm going to have him in the centre there, and then leading up to that I have these bits which are from a what do you call it now? They're from a village scene that I have. So they're just little almost like pathways. So I'm going to have that so it leads up to the door. And then I've got a whole stack of bottle brush trees. So I'm going to treat this as if it was outside somebody's home. And he's walked up to the door and he's been greeted by their pet dog. And again, I'm going to be putting snow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, look, this tree is alive. And I have a snowman, and this is one of the new ornaments from Poundland this year. I've just taken off the string, and I should just have that nestled there as if a child has recently built it. Okay, now on this shelf here we have a very simple scene. We have a miniature rustic woodland Santa, and we have and these are some faux trees on a wooden branch. So I'm going to put those in, and again add the faux snow. Okay, then on the bottom here we're going to have a family of snowmen. I've got some ceramic and I've got some acrylic snowmen, and they are going to be around this. I've got this mirror insert from a craft that I use the frame, and I keep the mirror inserts, then I can place it on a flat surface, and then I can cover that, or cover the edges at least, with the faux snow, and that gives it the impression that it's a frozen lake. Okay, so that's that done. Now it comes to the top. Okay, now we come to the top here. I have these three kind of frozen glistened trees which I'm going to use. So I'll have one on this edge, one to the right hand side of the middle, and the second on this edge, on this end, towards the back. And then I have a selection of these rustic houses. So I'm going to have you in the middle, and then I have the taller version, so I'm going to have one on this side, and then I have one which is exactly the same, but instead of having it facing this way I'm going to have it facing that way, so it looks slightly different. So I'm going to have one there, and then I have this smaller one which I will put on a riser, a slight riser, and that will go towards the back. And then I have two of these which are the same. So one will go here, and one will go on this side. And then I have some miniature snowmen and trees which I will just use to decorate. And that is what I have done for the top this year, and I really will do a pan over when it's all done. Okay, so the first thing I'm putting in, okay, so we're going to start off with one of my napkins. Now that is a square napkin and I've just folded it in half, so it's triangular, and I've got a little peak coming over the top of the edge there. Then I've put a rattan placemat at the back. Anything that is available to buy I will link to below. I'll be able to link I should be able to link the rattan placemats and the napkins. So then we got a placemat, and then I shall put the next thing in now. Okay, next is that mustard looking yellow plate, and I got those from Next last year, ready for this year, and it has a lovely kind of spiral flower design on it. I think that shows up on camera. So let's move on. Then we have a smaller decorative plate. Now I've got these plates on eBay. I've done a lot of decorative plate shopping over the past few months, ready for autumn and Christmas. Okay, let's move on to the next piece. Then we have a little pig that I made with a sunflower and a corn husk. And next is a little white pumpkin, faux pumpkin. And then I have a faux artichoke and some and some faux leaves. Okay, let's move down to the next shelf. As with the top shelf, we start off with a rattan placemat. Then I have a slice of wood to give my items a bit of height. And then on top of that piece of wood, and leaning against the rattan placemat, I have got a round mirror, and those round mirrors are from Poundland. It's from their wedding range. And then next I have a autumn plate. This is from a set of 4 plates. I have one for each season, and that is the autumn version. I have a lovely resin squirrel. I think I should be able to link these squirrels below. We have a resin faux mushroom, which was purchased from Poundland in the summer. A small resin pumpkin, which I've had in my stash for a number of years. I just poked in a little autumnal leaf, which goes with the foliage from the mantelpiece and other parts of the living room. And then the last thing I've added is a little bit of moss. Okay, let's move down to the final shelf. Okay, so a rattan placemat. Then we have a Yankee Candle large jar holder, and it's slightly towards the left hand side, it's not centered. And using one of the faux birch candle holders or pedestals that I made, I'll link the video at the end. So we have that next to that. Then on top of that we have one of the large green faux birds that I bought back in the summer. If these are still available, I will link them below. One more bird and a white faux pumpkin. And that, crafters, is my display cabinets before. We're going to do the top shelf today, which is that one there. As with my autumnal decor, the first thing I'm going to put in is a charger. I used rattan placemats for autumn, but for Halloween and Christmas I'm going to be using chargers. So I've got this set of black and gold chargers off eBay. If they're still available, I will leave a link below. The next item is this elongated rectangle black and gold tray. That's also from eBay. It has gold skeleton hands which point towards the middle. And then the last item is a Mercury glass owl which has a timer LED lights in it, and I got that from QVC a number of years ago. Let's move down to the second shelf. First thing I've added is actually designed to be a cake base. It's one of those cardboard cake bases that you can buy in Poundland, and all I did was stick a sugar skull sticker onto it. I'll try and link the skull stickers in the comments or description below. The next item is a decanter glass skull bottle, and that's from Poundland. A black pumpkin Boo pumpkin, also from Poundland. An old vase that I had, which was a different colour, I spray painted black, added some twine and some charms and used it as a candle holder. And the next thing I'm adding is one of these lovely pieces of artwork from the very talented Nancy Hutchins. I believe it's Nancy. If I'm incorrect, I'll put it on the screen. I will link the creator shout out video below. Let's move on to the last shelf. Another black and gold charger which matches the one on the top shelf. A black glittered candle from Poundland. And a black and white skull that I got on eBay. If still available, I will link below. You can see the top shelf in front of you, and like I did at Halloween and during the summer months, and I believe in autumn, I'm going to be using some sort of round backing or charger or placemat, but this time I'm going to be using a charger. So let's get cracking. Okay, first thing in place is my embossed red charger. Now I got these from eBay. I'll link the haul video where I show them, and I believe there's links in that video, so I will share that so it pops out now. Let's add the next item. Next is this holly tree, and I got this from TK Maxx last Christmas. Was it last Christmas or the Christmas before? I think it might have been the Christmas before. Let's add the next item. 2 decorative plates. Again, I'll link the haul video where I show these plates. I got these on eBay over the last 6 months. Okay, let's add the final item. The joy word with the 2 robins. Again, that was purchased from eBay. I'll link it the haul video below. Let's move down to the middle shelf. First item is another charger in the back. Next item is a tea towel that I got from Mata, and again, as I said, I'll link all the haul videos where I show these items at the end or in iCards, so they pop out now. And I just kind of folded it over and made it look like a river of pattern. And the last item is a candle ring that I made using Poundland items and a hurricane that I got from QVC UK. As with the 2 previous shelves, the first thing I add is a charger. Next is another one of the decorative plates that I found on eBay recently. That's a Strode plate. And a Victorian looking boy on a very large snowball that I got from QVC a number of years ago. I believe these came from QVC USA. I think they're Valerie Park. And the last item is a candle stick that I found on eBay, which matches the plate with a faux candle and a candle ring. And that is the shelf unit all done. And the first thing I'm going to put in is this large, it's actually a bowl, not a plate, and it's on a metal plate stand, and it has a large snowflake in it. So we're going to put that in. Okay, so that's going to act as, if you remember my previous displays for Christmas and for autumn, I was using platters or charger plates or placemats to put in the background, but as this is quite large, I don't need to do that. So let's add the next item. The next item is the Easter tree that I got from Poundland last Easter in 2019 that I used in my tree at Christmas. I'll insert an image or some video. Twice that I've used them, so I'm really getting my money's worth. Let's add the next item. The next item is a Victorian themed skier. I got these on eBay, and they only cost me a couple of pounds because I used my nectar points on them. And eBay, as eBay, you can collect nectar points and spend them on eBay, so I was really happy to find these. I'll also use these in my Christmas 2020 decor as well. I will take you in closer because you can't really see them very well from here, but they are beautiful. And then the next 2 items are 2 of the acrylic snowballs that I got from Poundland. They're not actually snowballs, they're actually just decor. They were in the summer range in Poundland back in 2019, and when I saw them I instantly thought of snowballs, so I picked up 6. And as you can see, this is the second thing that I'm using them for, because I used them in my Christmas as well. So let me take you closer in. Down to the next shelf. Okay, so the first thing we put in on the second shelf is the rattan placemat. Next is a mercury glass candle stand. On top of the mercury glass candle stand, I've put one of my decorative birds. Now, I have quite a large collection, but that's the one I've chosen to put on there today. Okay, around the base I've put some faux ivy and some faux lambsea. And then next to that I have my wood log sphere, which are from QVC. I don't think they're available now, but if they are, I'll link them below. Let's add the last item, and the last item is a light up mosaic sphere. Okay, let's take you in. Let me add the first item on the last shelf. Okay, so the first item I've added is a charger plate, and then I've attached a mirror from Poundland to the charger plate. I haven't glued it on, I've just got it stuck on there with blue tack. So then I can just remove it if once I don't need it. Okay, so let's add the next item. Okay, the next item is a winter scene ceramic decorative plate, and it is gorgeous. I love the colours, the soft browns, the soft blues, the whites. But again, I'll take you in close. The next item is a blue vase or vase, again depending on where you're from. We say vase here, we like to insert R's where there aren't any. That is a vase that I got on eBay. It's a, I think it's called a bark vase because it has a bark texture to the glass. They're from the 1960s or 70s, I believe. I do love the retro and the mid-century items, so I have quite a collection. And lastly is a candle stick with one of the acrylic snowballs on top. And that is my display cabinet, all set for winter 2020. Now this will stay like this right up until the end of February, and then at the end of February I will swap it out for spring, and that will then stay until I swap it out for summer. As I like to do, I'm going to start with the top shelf. So let's put in the first thing. If you've been following me with these glass cabinet displays, you know I like to put something directly at the back, so whether that be a charger, a placemat, something. So I've got my rattan placemat at the back. Now let's add the next item. The next item I am going to add is this book. Now I have a collection of these. These are The Earth, Its Wonders, Its Secrets, and this one is a Nature's Masterpiece, and they're by Reader's Digest. Now I'm going to put that directly there because I like the green trim. I think for spring that's going to make things really pop. So now I'm going to build a vignette on top of that book. So the next item I've added is a green jug that I got from Wilko's back in 2018. I've added some faux fern and the faux daisies from Poundland. The jug reads, "Always find time for those you love," which is a very true statement. Okay, let's add the next item. Next to that, I've added a very rustic and natural wooden sphere. I got these from QVC a couple of, was it last year? I think it might have been last year, maybe the year before. They no longer do them, but I do love them. I got two sizes, that's the large, and I have the smaller size above the cabinet on the top there. So let's add the next item. Next I have added some foliage. Now this, some people call it boxwood, some people call it eucalyptus, but when I looked at the pictures of eucalyptus, it looks more like this, so I'm going to call it eucalyptus. So I've got some faux eucalyptus. Now let's add the last item. And the final item I've added is a plate that my mum has had for 30 plus years. It was a gift from her sister-in-law, my dad's sister, when my dad's sister, my aunt, went to Morocco, I believe, or was it Malta? I'll correct myself on the screen. They don't have any markings on the back or anything, but they're really pretty. And she has another one, but it's a different flower and it's pink, and that's what's in the cabinet that goes parallels to this. The only reason I do the one side of my cabinet is because I'm a very symmetrical decorator. So what I have on this shelf, I will have on the shelf right next to it at the top. And what I'm thinking of doing is using the same staple pieces, so the jug, the sphere, and maybe even the book during the summer months, and then transition out the focal item in the center. So this, for spring, it'll be the plate, and then I can just swap out the foliage depending on the season. So let's move down to shelf number 2. Okay, on shelf number 2, the first thing I've added is a very large bowl, like a plate bowl. It's not a plate because it is actually, it dips, so it is a bowl. And I got this from Argos. If they're still available, I will link them below. It has really nice greens, and I think it'd be ideal for the spring season. But you know what, crafters? I just did a boo-boo. Let me remove this. The first item I should have added is another book. So I've added my book. Now let's add the bowl. Okay, so that's the book and the bowl added. Now let's add the next item. Okay, the next item I've added is some foliage with some faux ivy. And in front of that we will put in the next item. Okay, so the next item is something I got from TK Maxx. I shared in the haul recently. She was only $7.99, and I have the male version in the cabinet that parallels directly next to it. So I'll show you that when I come to the end. Okay, let's add the next couple of items. Okay, next to her I have a faux mushroom from Poundland. They're made of resin, and some lovely ceramic birds which I got from Pound Stretches a couple of years ago, and a tiny little cake stand just to raise one up off the book. Okay, that's that shelf done. Let's go down to the final shelf. Okay, crafters, as with the first shelf, the first item I'm adding is my rattan placemat. Then one of the Reader's Digest books with the lovely green spine. Next is a slice of wood that I use as a riser. On top of that I will add the next item. On top of that I've added this vase or vase. I got a set of two, so I have the other one in the shelf that directly parallels it. And I got them from my local second-hand shop, and I got both of them for $3.99. And I believe, let me show you the base. They are from Poole. They're from Poole, Dorset. Let's see how well that comes up. And I have a jug that I purchased on eBay last autumn, and because these have the wheat and the daisies, I can actually use them for autumn and for spring. And if I turn them upside down, I can use them as candle holders as well. So let's add the next item. The next item is a wooden kind of tribal circle, and I got that from B&M this year. And that's going to be one of the things that I keep in there majority of the year, because I think this natural look is definitely something that hones in onto my heart. So let's add the final couple of items. Okay, and the last two items, a bit of foliage and a very rustic looking wooden rabbit to help with the spring theme. And so let's put in the first item. Okay, so anyone who's been following me over the past couple of years, you know that I use these placemats or these charger plates as a foundation of my decor. I like there to be something behind, just to give it some texture, to give it some focus. So the first thing I put on at the back is my rattan mat. Let's put in item number 2. Okay, item number 2 is my green jug. Now I use that during spring, so I'm hopefully going to use that most of the year. I probably won't use it during autumn because I'm going to be using a lot of golds and coppers in my autumn decor this year, so that probably wouldn't work. But I used it in spring, I'm going to be using it in summer. So let's add the third item. The third item is actually a bowl, a new bowl from a new line that Poundland brought out this year, and I purchased that back in January or February, before the coronavirus pandemic started. I haven't bought anything new for these cabinets. All the items that you see today that I'm using I've had in my craft stash and my decor stash. The other item I'm going to add to the bowl is this fern pick. Now you can see I've just folded up the base just so it fits in the bowl. I want that to sprawl over the edge of the bowl like that. And that is all I'm doing to the top shelf. Let's move down to the next shelf. Okay, shelf number 2 is much more, there's much more to it. There's quite a few bits and pieces, so I'm just going to start adding the pieces, and I'll tell you what they are. So the first thing I'm going to add is one of the books. Now in spring I used the books as the foundation of my decor. This time round I'm going to be using the reverse. This is the front of the book I'm going to be using. It's the Reader's Digest, The Earth, the Wonders, the Secrets, and this is the mysteries of the rainforest. But I'm going to be using the back of the book. and I'm going to be putting it on a plate stand. Okay, so that's in there in the left hand side. Let's add the next item. Okay, so the next items I've added is a galvanized planter with some faux green eucalyptus, and I have one of the little frog plant hook thingy-bobbies that I got from Poundland, again before all this started. And then on the right hand side I have a wood block, so I'll should be using that as a riser. So on top of that wood block I'll be adding the next two items. Okay, so on top of that wood block I have added a smaller galvanized bucket from my stash and some faux moss rocks. Okay, and to that I've added some faux fern and some faux ivy, and then nestled in the front of that I'm going to add a bird. Okay, so she's all nestled in there. Next I'm going to be adding a gardening glove. I'm going to add that to underneath the book there. Okay, so I added the glove and I added this small trowel. Next I'm going to add some foliage, just so it pops around from behind the book. Okay, so I added some foliage, and I added another moss stone rock. So the theme for this particular glass cabinet display is definitely more garden. So I've got the animals, I've got the foliage, that type of thing, but I also wanted to incorporate some nice patterned ceramics. So let's move down to the last shelf. Okay, so item number 1 is another one of my rattan placemats. Item number 2 is one of my wood log spheres. Then we have a concrete pear. And then next I'll be adding the small breadboard risers that I made a few weeks ago. I'll link a video at the end. So that we put that here on an angle, and on top of that I'm going to add a pansy flowering, and I'm going to submerge the bird into the flowering and put that on top. And that's the entirety of the bottom shelf. Okay, first thing I'm going to add is my rattan placemat at the back. Now, if you've been following me for any length of time, when I've done these glass cabinet videos, you know that I tend to like something at the back. I have changed the way I've decorated over the past few years, and I really enjoy this way. So in front of that rattan charger, I am going to put this pheasant plate. It's quite a large pheasant plate. It probably measures about 13 inches across by about, I say 10 inches high. So we're going to put that in there, and I just love the colours. I think the colours are very autumnal. Now next to that, on the right hand side, we are going to place one of my pine cone candle holders, which I got from QVC a number of years ago. And then next to that we're going to put in some of the gold leaves that I don't like, some of the blueberries that I've been using, and one of my little golden acorns. So we're going to put that next to that, and we are going to insert some of these gold leaves just to connect it with the other vignettes that I've done. Now on the left hand side I've got one of my Lynchmere birds with the navy blue and gold. There's the underside, bellwood, but they're a Lynchmere. And then I've got some faux leaves. So faux leaves, open them up so that the leaves go either side of my bird, and that is my simple top shelf. Let's move you down to the next shelf. First thing to add is my rattan placemat. So that goes there. Then I have a wood slice that will go in front of it, and then on top of the wood slice I am using my gold squirrels. This is the same set as I sent May May, her Bubble and Squeak, but these are my set, obviously. She saw my ones and she wanted a set, so I sent them to her, being that she's my chum. Love that lady to pieces. Okay, and now let's add some foliage either side, again in the blues, the golds, and those leaves that I used above, and another one of my faux gold acorns. Make sure we get it right, and the same around the other side. So add some leaves, some of the gold leaves, another one of the faux acorns, because obviously a gold straw is going to have gold acorns. Okay, and that is my simple second shelf. Now let's move down to the final shelf. Okay, first thing I'm added in is another rattan placemat, and then in front of that placemat I have got a blue charger plate, and I have a decorative plate attached to it using the 3M hooks, so I can take it off and use the charger as it is. On the right hand side I am going to have my faux wood owl tea light holder, and in front of that I'm going to put some foliage. And on that left hand side I have got a large pillar candle holder, and atop that we're going to put a bird. And that, crafters, is my lower shelf. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to put in, as you know, it's become my staple thing that I use when I do my decorating, and that's some charger plates. Now I'm using these this forest green, this old English green. This green and burgundy is playing a big role in my decor this year, so let me put these in place. Okay, so that anchors the back of my cabinets. So let me put in the next item, which is a cloche, and inside the cloches I have some Victorian children's scenes. So I've got two of these, and underneath the cloches I am going to put a ivy and holly candle ring that I made last year using items from Poundland. Let me put those in place. Okay, so that's both of those in place. The next thing I'm going to add are, on one side, this illuminated Santa with a burgundy cloak or cape, and this rocking horse, both made by the same company. We bought these back in the 90s, I believe. So let me put these in place. Okay, so that's the top shelf done, crafters. Let me move you down to the next shelf. Okay, crafters, for this shelves the items are going to be similar but not exactly the same. I was able to find some plates that depicted some of the elements from A Christmas Carol. So on the left hand side I'm going to have the part of the story where he first meets Marley's ghost, and then on the right hand side I'm going to have the celebration at Fezziwig's, which was a memory of Ebenezer Scrooge. So I'm going to actually put the camera closer in so you can get a better view of each vignette. Next is a brass candle holder with a brass snuffer, similar to the ones you see them use in the adaptations. Okay, so the next thing I've added are some faux coins. Now I just got these from the children's toy section in Poundland, and then just spray painted them copper and silver, again to represent Ebenezer Scrooge being, you know, a big fan of money. So let me add the next item. Okay, the next item is the plate that I found, and I've attached it to a green plate using the 3M Velcro picture hooks, so that way I can swap them out if necessary. Okay, let's add some foliage. Okay, just added some foliage just to conceal the date, because obviously it says 1980, which is when the plates came out, but obviously this story isn't from there. So I will now scoot over and do the parallel side. Okay, crafters, so I've added the books as I did in the parallel shelf, and then on top of those books we're going to add a glass bowl full of faux and dried leaves and fruits and things to represent the party. Okay, the next thing I've added is the plate that represents the Fezziwig party, and now I need to add the foliage and a candlestick. Okay, crafters, the reason why I added a candlestick to this is because I have a light element in the parallel shelf, so I wanted to kind of mimic that on this shelf here. Okay, so let's move down to the bottom shelf. As with the top shelf, I'm adding the green charger plate. Next I have a Victorian carol singer scene, and I have two of these. And then next to that we're going to add a decorative box, which I'm going to be using as a riser. Then on top of that I'm going to add a mercury glass candle stand. And then on top of that I'm going to add a holly candle ring and one of these gorgeous burgundy and gold decorative ornaments, which I will place this way round, so the hanger is facing the well of the candle stand. And then a bit of holly to cover up the date of the plate. And that, crafters, is that shelf done. Okay, crafters, so the first thing I'm going to put in on the top shelves are my gold chargers. So I'm going to put those in on both sides. I think what I'll do is I'll do one side, then I'll do the other. So I have this lovely, I think it's like a casserole dish or something. It's a vintage one, probably from the 50s or 60s. It's got strawberries on it, but you don't really see what's on them unless you go up close. I'm going to put that on the top shelf. And then in the right hand side at the back I'm going to have this pedestal and this large tea light holder and a LED candle. So that goes up there like that. Okay, so on the other side I'll have the pedestal on this side with the candle, and I have a teapot that matches the well, you can see the detail there, but that will go in this side. have a sugar bowl here. A sugar bowl, but the lid is broken, so I got it quite cheap on eBay, and I'm going to put some pumpkins on top. Put that to this side. Got some of these birds, these little gold birds. Cream and gold. Cream and gold whites. That's kind of the theme for this year. Lots of cream and gold and white. Okay, let's put that there. Okay, then I've got these two vases. That's the pattern on the front, but I'm going to turn them around. And these are from Purbeck, gifts from Paul Dorset. So we've got one on either side. Down to the next shelf. I will probably add and move things around, I'm sure. Next I've got these charger plates. They're from Next. They were £6. I bought them a few years ago. So one on each shelf. And then we've got this jug here, and then I'm going to use the face vase, and I've got filled that with feathers because feathers are playing a key role in my decor this year. And then we've got some brass candlesticks. I've got here. Over on that side I am going to have this creamy white lady figurine from the 80s, and then a stack of cream and gold cup and saucers. Okay, let's put some plates in here. Okay, so I've got these, the Art of Shokin. So I've got this owl one here, again with the gold accents, and this lovely stag and deer. That will go over. Outside, I think. Okay, now I've got a cluster of foliage. So I've got the white, I forgot what they're called. Sunflowers, some lamb's ear, a feather, just to add a bit of softness to the display. Then a cluster of my white resin pumpkins. And I have this plate to go on the other side. Another cluster of foliage. as well as the 3. I wonder if I want to change that around so the D is over here. Another cluster over here. Okay, I think that works. Okay, and on the bottom shelf we're going to put 2 more chargers, but these are the gold ones. And then 2 of these large bowlers. These candlesticks, which I've got these white pinecone ornaments, and I'll put those on there. And then I have a glass candle holder here and some lamps here. I'm just going to pop that in there. I don't know how well you can see that. You can't see that at all. Let's bend you down. There's that pumpkin on there. And a light up pine cone. Some more ceramic ware. It's a kind of mini sugar bowl. And feathers. Another plate. A mini one. Same on the other side. I want to have a point of light on each shelf. So I have light on here. I don't have any light on here, so I'm going to put these candles in. And I've probably forgotten to move the camera again. Yeah. And I've got these really large brass candle sticks. I think they were up here. Thing is, craft is when I put all this together and then I've taken it all out to do the video and now I can't remember where I had things. I think they were up there. I quite like those up there like that. Let's bring this forward a bit. Okay, let's put the other brass one in. Okay, I think I'm done. So I think you find it's a slightly different to what I've done over the past few years. It's been very minimal, but even though there's a lot in there, I think it's kind of minimal at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense to you. But that's what I've got going on for autumn of 2021 with the creams, the golds and the whites with touches of lamb's ear and feathers. Okay, so let's concentrate on the top two shells. The first thing I'm going to put in is a charger. Now this is a silver charger plate that I got from Poundland and I covered in blue tissue paper. And then hanging from the ceiling or the roof of the hutch, I'm going to have this snowflake. So let me take you in so you can watch me do that. I need to resituate my camera. Okay, so these snowflakes are meant to hang, so I've brought them together using the cardboard that's there, and I've attached some blue tack. So that will be suspended from the ceiling or the roof or whatever you want to call it, so it hangs in front of the charger plate like that. And then we're going to put a glass light up tree in front of that, and then in front of that we're going to put one of these are the Bond International made in Japan 1988 courier knives. And this is the farmer's home in winter. And then either side of that we're going to put two candlesticks, one in the pale blue, one in the clear glass, and then two of my little carolers. And then I will do the same on this side. And the plate for this side is the Homestead in Winter courier knives. These are lovely plates. And then mimic the candlesticks. So I'll have the clear on the right hand side because I have the clear on the left hand side on this one, and the pale blue on the inside because I have it on the inside on the parallel shelf. And then two of my little cherubs, and then we'll add some snow. We don't get a great deal of snow here in the UK like we used to during the Christmas season, so I'll have to make up for it in other ways. Let's move you over slightly so I can get some snow here. And I reuse this snow every year. I sweep it up and reuse it, hoover up what I can't get up, and then I sweep up the rest. Okay, let's do this side. And I've got little snowball balls and acrylic pieces just mixed in, just to give it that, you know, that mixture of textures. Okay, let's move on to the shelf below. Okay, on the shelf below we have a silver charger, which I will put in the middle. Another snowflake to be suspended from the ceiling or from the shelf above. And then we have a candle holder with a glass shade. Go in the center. We have an illuminated mercury glass silver tree. We have a Thomas Kincaid snowman. And we have a white ceramic deer, stag, reindeer, whatever you want to call them. And yep, you guessed it, more faux snow. Got that song playing in my head from White Christmas, you know, the What is Christmas with No Snow? And I will do the same on the shelf on the right hand side. And this is on this side. I have the Thomas Kincaid that my very good friend, very close friend, Amy May, she sent that over to me quite a number of years ago now. I think back in 2016. So I've had it quite some time. Okay, on the second shelf I have these two large glass bowls with a snowflake in the centre. Now I got these from TK Maxx probably it was 2009, so about 2-3 years ago. And I have a silver gift box that will go in the centre, and then I have one of these very retro looking spiky ornaments, so I'll place that on top. If they're still available I will leave a link below. And then we have some illuminated pine cones. I've hoovered up all the mess, and let's take a closer look. You'll see all these things illuminated during the home tour. See that I've got them blue tack to the top of the hutch. Look how gorgeous this is. And it's mirrored on the parallel shelving or adjacent.